Hopefully that's not too confusing, but you have to state a domain and range sometimes, and to do that you're going to state what values your graph can possibly take on. Let's move on to the last question. This table shows the number of emails history classes send to their senators. Make a graph and use it to find how many emails were sent from 8 classes. Write the rule in function notation and use it to check your answer. Whew, that's a lot of work. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to delete all of this stuff on here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this to create our graph. What I'm going to do is I am going to, let's see, I wonder if I can even paste this. Okay, so it's not going to let me paste. I'm just going to have to look back and forth here. 130, 260, 390, 130, 260, 390, 4, 120. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that. Now normally I'd be graphing this on graph paper, but I can easily graph this using this. And then let's see, one of the instructions was that I need to figure out how many emails to send from 8 classes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my data. And once I have my data selected, it lets me choose to add a trend line. And that's what I'm going to do. This is going to add a line that goes through all of my points. And this is the closest I can get to actually graphing a line in Excel. Now, what you can do is you can graph this on a sheet of graph paper and just take a straight edge and connect all of your dots and just keep going. Hey, where is this going to be at 8? Boy, it sure would help if I had an equation. One of the things that this can do is I can show the equation for this line up here. And then the question is, what is my y value going to be at 8? Well, why not just plug in 8 as x to the equation? So the equation is y equals 30x. This is going to be 30 times 8. Y will be 240. So the answer is let's see, make a graph and use it to find how many emails were sent from 8 classes. The answer is 240. So I'm just going to write that down here. We're going to say H. The answer is 240 emails. Or letters? Is it letters? No, it is emails. Okay. And then we need to also write a rule in function notation. So function notation looks like this. F of x. That's not f times x. That's the function x. Okay? F of x is function notation equals, by the way, f of x is just like y. This whole thing right here, it functions like the variable y. F of x equals 30 times x. I could figure that out from this. 30, so if it's 1, it's 1 times 30. 2 is 2 times 30. 60 is 2 times 30. 90 is 3 times 30. 120 is 4 times 30. For 8 times 30 would be 240. So that's why my graph looked the way that it does. That's why my equation looked the way that it does. I could have figured that out just from looking at this table and thinking about it. But that's how you do what you got to do. Now, is this easy stuff? No, not really. You're going to be graphing a lot. The graphing itself isn't that hard. The domain and range stuff is a little bit hard. Make sure you ask questions on those if you have questions. And letter H is especially hard. Figuring out the relationship and writing a function notation equation, tough. So make sure you ask questions on that too. All right, you're ready to do numbers 1 through 30.